Well, looks like I am live. I'm gonna undo my camera and maybe, oh, there it is. Maybe my camera's working okay today. Let me just double check that my volume, my microphone is working properly. Input volume, properties, levels. Back it up, back it up. Let's try not to get any feedback. This microphone likes to adjust itself, so it may be an issue. Been an ongoing problem for a long time. So, welcome everybody. This is my live broadcast. Oh, look, I already hear feedback. Let me double check. Damn microphone. Damn this microphone. Look at that, all the way jacked up. Back it off. Let me just make sure this thing likes to adjust itself now. Oh, there it goes, jumping up. How about you back off? Back it off. Back it off. Back. 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 Lost my mic. Nope, I didn't. I hear feedback. Come on, son of a bitch. Too much adjusting. Would you stop adjusting yourself, please? Stay there. All right. Can you hear me? All right, you should be able to hear me now. I think I can hear myself. I even hear feedback. Oh, there it goes. Too much input. Fucking microphone. Wow. I don't know what to do with this thing. I'm going to have to replace it. Keeps trying to jack up the input volume, which makes echoey feedback. And when I crank it down, it jacks itself up. Okay, so knock it off. Keeps cranking up the input volume, and I don't know how to make it stop that. Sometimes smacking it works, but apparently that's not doing the job. Up, up, up. As I speak, it wants to crank up the input volume, so if I talk into the microphone, maybe it will stop doing that shit. You're pissing me off. Okay. All right. So I really don't want to like talk loud, but I wanted to present a couple of things to you guys. I was going to make a video, but the problem was that the amount of time that it would have taken me to actually create and edit this video was literally over the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this live. So I got a couple of people watching right now, a couple of people, Richard Burke, and who else is in here? And let me check my chat right now. Richard Burke seems to be the only person commenting. Hey, Richard, 6 people watching. Okay, and I'm sorry if my microphone keeps cranking itself up and echoing. I'm trying my level best to keep this damn microphone under control, and it keeps cranking itself up. I'm going to smack it again, because when I smack it, it seems to adjust itself down And when I the input overloads the microphone, and it seems to work better that way. Hopefully I've got a an input. Let me double check one more time. Sorry, everybody. And let me just see. All right. Looks like I've got an input. So it appears that I do have an input. Hopefully y'all can hear me. Hey, Land Raver. All right, check this out, you guys. I was watching this channel that I subscribe to. He's called Godless Engineer. He's one of the atheist channels that I tend to Hi, Io. He's one of the atheist channels that I tend to subscribe to, and he was covering this guy here, which is 119 Ministries. This guy right here. You know what? I need to do a screen share. I hit up Amy and Gandalf on Skype if they were interested, and nobody has responded. So I'm flying solo right now. What I want to do is just do a screen share, and I want to show you guys what I want to debunk, because this shit is pissing me off. I mean, I've had enough of this crap. This guy here look at here, 119 Ministries. Let me go full screen. 119 Ministries. Isn't that interesting? 119. Oh, what does that look like? 911 backwards? Oh yeah, maybe. Funny enough, here's the thing. This guy is a rape apologist. He's a Christian apologist who wants to dismiss certain biblical passages that are talking about how when a man rapes a woman, that he is supposed to marry the rapist. Okay. So I have open here BibleHub.com, which it literally is one of the best resources that I have found on this subject that I like to research, which is biblical history and bibliography and ancient cultures, ancient gods, and those kinds of things, and astrotheology and whatnot. This website, BibleHub.com, gives me every single version. There's the New International, there's the New Living Translation, there's the English Standard, there's the Borean Study Bible, the New American Standard, the King James, the Christian Standard, the Good News Translation, there's the Holmes Christian, and the Net Bible, and many, 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 many others. It literally gives me every version, every translation you could ask for. And furthermore, it gives me, watch my mouse, watch. If I hover over here on the right upper right corner, if I hover over a verse or a word or a phrase, look, it goes to a hyperlink. If I click that hyperlink, look what it does. Watch. Give it a second. Look, it takes me to the etymology and the origin of the word. It takes me to the Greek and the Latin and the Hebrew etymologies. This is literally the best resource that I found to date when it comes to Bible study. BibleHub.com is literally the best resource that I have found. What I want to show you is this asshole right here, this Christian apologist, who wants to tell you that Bible verses that say outright that when a man rapes a woman, that he is to marry that woman, that he is to go to her father and give her 50 shekels. He's got to pay her $50, and because he violated her, and that's what he's supposed to do. So I'm going to back this up just a little bit right about here, and hopefully you can hear this guy. Listen to this shit.
Sometimes understanding the intent of our Creator's commandments is not always intuitive. It requires some careful consideration and thought.
Yes, when your Creator is laying down laws that tell you that rapists need to marry their victims, it is quite troubling, and I can see how that would be very hard for you, because he's supposed to be like this all good moral being when really he's just a giant dick.
For example, Deuteronomy 22 appears to instruct a woman to marry her rapist.
Yes, it does.
Yeah,
When you take a critical
it
look
does.
at it, even in the Grecian, the original, the Septuagint, you read it as marry rapist. That's how you read it.
Deuteronomy chapter 22, verses 28 through 29.
Check this out.
If a man meets a virgin who is not betrothed and seizes her and lies with her, and they are found, then the man who lay with her shall give to the father of the young woman 50 shekels of silver, and she shall be his wife, because he has violated her. He may not divorce her all his days.
All right, I want to pause it right there. Now, what I would like to do is show you, let me see. I want to make sure that I want to reduce that. I want to show you guys something. This is what it means to seize. What do you guys think of when I say the word seize? What do you think of? Does the word seize mean voluntary, consensual? No. It says right here, take hold of suddenly and forcibly. That's what the word seize means in reality. So this guy, he says here, if a man meets a virgin who is not betrothed, meaning, they're betrothed to be wed. They're not married, but they're engaged, betrothed. Okay, they're engaged. And seizes her and lies with her. And lies with her means fucks her. Okay, that means sleeps with her, has sex with her. Seizes her does not mean consensual. Okay, so if a man meets a virgin who is not betrothed and seizes her and lies with her, and they are found, in other words, discovered, then the man who lay with her shall give to the father of the young woman 50 shekels of silver, and she shall be his wife. See, the woman doesn't have a choice. Okay, let's consider this. A woman is wandering out in the field, maybe gathering berries or tending sheep or just going from one town to another or whatever. If a man meets a virgin who is not betrothed and seizes her and lies with her and fucks her, then the man shall give her father 50 shekels of silver, and she shall be his wife. So, in other words, if a man rapes a woman, that the woman is to be his wife. So the victim is now subject to be the wife of the victimizer, the rapist, for the rest of his life. Because he has violated her, he may not divorce her all his days. So, in other words, they're supposed to be married forever. So the woman who has been raped is now to be the wife of the rapist for the rest of her life and the rest of his life. Let's just move on from here because this shit is astounding. Watch this.
This verse should be compared to Exodus chapter 22, verses 16 through 17. If a man seduces a virgin who is not betrothed and lies with her, he shall give the bride price for her and make her his wife. If her father utterly refuses to give her to him, he shall pay money equal to the bride price for virgins.
Now, before he goes on to, exactly spell his apologetic here, he's trying to connect the two, but it's important for you to know that currently, as we understand how the Old Testament was actually developed, these are two different writers. So it would make sense that both of these writers had different ideas as to what should happen. It's a very specific situation in both instances, and we're going to go through that.
Deuteronomy chapter 22, verses 28 through 29. Is not talking about rape.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Look at the Septuagint, and you can tell that it is talking about taking somebody against their will and raping them.
Yeah.
Taking a woman against her will.
Yep.
And raping them. I mean, if you take a man against his will, you're going to kill them both for being homosexuals, right?
Yeah.
But fornication between a man and a woman.
No, it's not just fornication between the two. It's specifically the man seizing control over the woman against her will and raping her. Just admit it.
Depending on which English translation you use, the text can be a bit misleading, especially the NIV. But when the rest of the context is considered, it is clear that this...
That's funny how he says the rest of the context. I'm going to show you how fucked up this guy is because he skips over context. And this guy, oh my God, what a sick fuck. Okay, here we go.
Passage is about fornication, not rape.
Lying fucking fucker. It is not about fornication. I'm going to prove that. Here we go.
Deuteronomy states if they are found out, meaning caught fornicating.
No, not meaning caught fornicating. You're adding words, you piece of shit. If they are found, which means if they are caught or discovered. It doesn't mean caught doing anything in particular, except for the context preceding, which means a man meets a virgin who is not betrothed and he seizes her and lies with her, meaning having sex with her. Then they are found. Found what? Fornicating? No. Found having sex, not fornicating. And it says here, seizes her. And I promise, I've already shown you the definition of seize means to take by force. So let's just go ahead and move on.
The man has no choice but to pay the dowry to her father and marry her, just like what it says to do in Exodus.
Like I said before, he's trying to connect Deuteronomy and Exodus because in his eyes, they're the same author. So they're meaning the same thing. But in actuality, they're two different authors, and they were authored like across different time spans. So
decades apart.
The two as if they were written by the same person, like he's trying to do here. These are two separate instances, and one does not inform the other.
Consider verses 25 through 27 of the same chapter in Deuteronomy.
Yeah, let's.
But if in the open country a man meets a young woman who is betrothed, and the man seizes her and lies with her, then only the man who lay with her shall die. But you shall do nothing to the young woman. She has committed no offense, punishable by death. For this case is like that of the man attacking and murdering his neighbor, because he met her in the open country. And though the betrothed young woman cried for help, there was no one to rescue her.
All right, I want to pause it here. Let's just consider this for a second. Why would the woman try to cry out? Though the young betrothed woman cried for help and there was no one to rescue her. If it was consensual, if it was fornication and consensual, why would she cry out? Why would she cry for help? And why would there be no one to rescue her? Who needs to rescue someone who is engaged in fornication by consent? This is insane. Because up here on the second line down, it says, man seizes her and lies with her. Those are the exact same words. The exact same words. And the man seizes her and lies with her. But only the man who lay with her shall die. Except there are other passages in the Bible that talk about man and women who have sex out of wedlock, right? Who both are supposed to be put to death. I'll show you that in a moment. But you shall not do anything to the young woman. She has committed no offense, punishable by death. For this case is like that of a man attacking and murdering his neighbor. Why is this the same? Why is it the same as a same case as a man attacking and murdering his neighbor? Oh, that's right, because this is fucking rape. It's non-consensual. If it was consensual sex between two people, it would not be the same as like that of a man attacking and murdering his neighbor. If it was consensual fornication, it would not be the same case, you effing fucking idiot. Because he met her in the open country, and though the betrothed young woman cried for help, there was no one to rescue her. This doesn't sound like fornication, you piece of shit apologist. Moving on.
So yes, this is about a betrothed woman, someone who is engaged to be married to a man. So it's a different situation here. For one thing, you got a virgin over there, right? And then this is a betrothed woman. Obviously, they're painting it in this particular instance as the woman crying out because she's faithful to her husband. They're two different instances, but he's trying to equate the two. This would be a false equivalence fallacy.
Even though these particular verses refer to a woman who is betrothed, the point is still clear.
Ah, fuck! He knew exactly how to get around it, didn't he?
The implication here is that the woman is being forced to have sex without her consent. Hence the fact that the text mentions she cried for help.
Yes.
True, in the one she cried for help because the assumption is that she's betrothed to another man and she's not cheating on him. That is different from the virgin in the open country and being taken or and raped, where nobody's going to hear her. So there's two options here. Either the rapist can marry their victim, or when the victim goes to marry somebody else, she's not a virgin, and then she is killed. That's in the Bible. I mean, the option there for the woman is marry the rapist or die.
Exactly. Because if you're an adulterer, then both are put to death. Trust me. Adultery is punishable by death, and both are to be put to death. I will show you that in a moment. And GE is absolutely correct here. GE is godless engineer. So good on you, GE. Good spot.
In verses 28 through 29, however, there is no mention of the woman crying for help, thus indicating that the woman of 28 through 29 willfully chose to have sex.
No, wrong.
No, this is not willfully choosing to have sex. I mean, you have highlighted here where it says seizes her and lies with her.
Right.
But in actuality, in the actual Greek text, the seizes part is taking or
exactly
or
taking by force.
Her in a way that's against her will.
Taking
that's
by
what
force.
That actually means. So just because she's a virgin in the open country and there's no way to like validate that she was raped or whatever, then the only options are death or marriage to the rapist, whom she lost her virginity to. Those are the two options for this poor girl in the open country.
Moreover, both parties are held accountable in the case of fornication because it's consensual.
This is still,
in this case, that then both parties are to be put to death according to the Bible.
Not about consensual sex. For one thing that differentiates it from like consensual sex and marriage is the fact that the guy can't divorce her like later on, like that's taken away in a consensual marriage and consensual sex. The man can decide that he doesn't want her anymore and divorce her. But in this situation, that's just not the case. So that's a way that it differentiates in the consensual side of things, showing that the woman doesn't actually have any kind of say in this marriage or anything like that.
And that's correct, because women are property in the Bible. Let's not forget that. Women are property.
Not that women had a lot of say in the Israelite community or population anyways. But also on the note of them having a law where the rapist is killed, it's more about violating another person's property.
Right.
As you could tell, they compared it to killing, another man or whatnot. Basically, they put all of this value on the woman's virginity because that's all that she's really worth in the Bible, is her virginity and her ability to be a virgin and give this guy, spawn that are definitely his. So it's more about destroying property than it is about the actual rape of a woman.
In the case of rape, however, only the man is punished. When the Bible is referring to rape, the text uses a completely different word for forces her. Instead, Deuteronomy chapter 22, verses 28, uses a word that is most commonly interpreted as takes.
Now, I don't know about you guys, but when I take something from somebody or I manipulate somebody, it's usually not exactly, consensual.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's just me in my own understanding of the English language or words in general and what they mean. But when I see these two words, they both mean to take or to seize somebody against their will, like POWs or criminals.
We hope that this clears up the common confusion surrounding this verse.
Actually, this just shows that you don't really even understand your own Bible here, because if you go with the idea that women are trusted in the Old Testament, trusted enough to indicate whether or not they were raped out in the open country or whatever, then you're going to be violating the criterion of embarrassment that you apply to the woman finding the empty tomb. That's where they commonly say that women weren't trusted as witnesses. And so
Right.
why would they put them in there as finding the empty tomb if they couldn't be trusted as witnesses? Well, then you can't trust a woman to witness for herself as far as whether or not she was raped. And then that, comes upon the whole two witness rule. So basically what you're telling.
Okay. So over here in Deuteronomy, let's go look at this. Because it says here in, let me just back this up a little bit here. Deuteronomy 24, 23. Let me back it up a little bit more. Deuteronomy 22. Let me just go one more. 21. If, however, this accusation is true and no proof of the young woman's virginity is found, so in other words, a man is accusing his young virgin wife of not being a virgin, she shall be brought to the door of her father's house, and there the men of her city will stone her to death for not being a virgin. For she has committed an outrage in Israel by being promiscuous in her father's house. You must purge the evil from among you. If a man is found lying with another man's wife, both the man who slept with her and the woman must die. So that's adultery. So if it's consensual fornication, as this guy is trying to have you believe, then they both should die. You must purge the evil from Israel. So let's look at this for a second. She shall be brought to the door of her father's house, and the men of the city shall stone her to death. That's if she's found to be not a virgin. Let's back up a little bit. Deuteronomy 22:20. They are also to fine him 100 shekels of silver and give them to the young woman's father, because this man has given an Israelite virgin a bad name. This is a man who accuses his wife of not being a virgin when she was a virgin, and so therefore he has besmirched her name. Okay? So now he's got to cough up $100 when he was a liar. But it says, and he shall remain, and she shall remain his wife. He must not divorce her all his as long as he lives. If, however, the accusation is true and no proof of the young woman's virginity is found, stop and think about that for a second. How would they know? What test would they engage in? We're talking about elders, priests, old men sticking their fingers up a young woman's, I'm sorry to say, private parts, and feel for the hymen. Because let's be honest, we're talking about a man marrying a young woman, a young virgin, having sex with her, and let's say that maybe under that circumstance, maybe she didn't bleed enough for him to detect that he broke the hymen and de-virginized her, and he says, hey, you're not a virgin. Maybe she was, and maybe there just wasn't enough blood, but then he accuses her of not being a virgin. So now what does he do? He takes her to the town elders, and then they perform this test here. If, however, this accusation is true, how do they determine this? Well, they stick their fingers up there. And if they don't feel a hymen, that means she's not a virgin. But does that prove anything? Because the guy just had sex with her and she didn't bleed, and then he accused her of not being a virgin. So if she did have a hymen and he did have sex with her, and maybe she didn't bleed enough, and then he accuses her of not being a virgin, she's fucked. She's fucked. She has no recourse. There's nothing she can do at this point. And what do? They take her to her father's house and stone her to death. Right there. Stone her to death. Take her to her father's house and stone her to death. Doesn't that sound nice? So what are we to do with this? And I want to point out that this guy's logic is so fucked up. Where is it? Let's see. Let me just start from the beginning here. I know that I'm live and I don't have an opportunity to edit, so I wanted to do this live because it's just a lot easier than creating a big long edited video. And I don't even know how long I've been going now. If a man meets a virgin who is not betrothed and seizes her, keep in mind, seizes her and lies with her, that's not consensual. You don't seize someone when it's consensual. Seizes her and lies with her, and they are found, in other words, discovered or caught or found out. Then the man who lay with her shall give to the father of the young woman 50 shekels. So he's got to cough up $50, and she shall be his wife. So you can go rape someone as long as you give the father $50. Everything is fine. You're not in trouble. You didn't do anything wrong, and now the rape victim is now your fucking wife. So moving on here, he tries to promote this idea. Where did it go? Hang on just a second. But in the open country, if in the open country a man meets a young woman who was betrothed and the man seizes her and lies with her. Oh, do you recognize that? Seizes her and lies with her. Exactly the same fucking words. Then only the man who lay with her shall die. Now, wait a minute. Why should he die? Because he seized her and had sex with her. Lies with her means had sex with her. If in the open country a man meets the young woman who is betrothed, so she's engaged, and the man seizes her, he takes her, and he fucks her, then only the man should die. But you shall do nothing to the young woman. She has committed no offense punishable by death, for this case is like that of a man attacking and murdering his neighbor, because he met her in the open country, and though the betrothed young woman cried for help, there was no one to rescue her. So it wasn't really her fault, is what they're saying here. So she tried to cry out. So we're not talking about consensual. But look at here. It says seizes her and lies with her, which is exactly the same phrase as this little bastard tried to excuse away a moment ago. Right here.
Understanding the intent of our Creator's commandment, consideration, and thought.
Yes. Right. Troubling, and I can see how that would be very hard for you, or being when.
For example, Deuteronomy 22 appears to instruct a woman to marry her rapist.
Yes, it does. When you take a critical look at it, even in the Grecian, the original, the Septuagint, you read it as marry rapist. That's how you read it.
Deuteronomy chapter 22, verses 28 through 29. If a man meets a virgin who is not betrothed and seizes her and lies with her, and they are found, then the man who lay with her shall give to the father of the young woman 50 shekels of silver, and she shall be his wife.
Seizes her and lies with her.
Not divorce her all his days. This verse should be compared to Exodus chapter 22, verses 16 through 17.
No, it shouldn't.
If a man seduces a virgin,
seduces a virgin is not the same. Seducing a virgin is not the same as seizing and lying with.
And lies with her. He shall give the bride price for her and make her his wife. If her father utterly refuses to give her to him, he shall pay money equal to the bride price for virgins.
Now, before he goes on.
No. Wrong, and fucking wrong.
In both instances, and we're going to go through that.
Deuteronomy chapter 22, verses 28 through 29, is not talking about rape.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Just look at the Septuagint, and you can tell that it is talking about taking somebody against their will and raping them.
Yeah, let me just remind you guys that seize, the word seize, come on, open up. The word seize, take hold of suddenly and forcibly. She jumped up and seized his arm. Grasp, grab, snatch, take hold of, get one's hands on. Forcibly. What part of that do you not understand? And why do you not understand that your own words are using the same words? And you're making apologetics for the same bullshit. It says, if a man meets a virgin who is not betrothed and seizes her and lies with her. In one case, the man who lay with her shall give the father of the young woman 50 shekels. This, to me, is fucking mind-boggling. You're a disgusting rape apologist. You, this guy, 119 Ministries. Isn't that funny? 119. That's a backwards 911. How funny. I'm going to go check the chat and see what you guys are saying, because this is pretty much what I wanted to cover here. Hey, Adelaide. How you doing? What's going on? Let me just read this chat here. What do you guys think of what I just showed you? Hey, Roof. Hey, Blue. What's going on? What's going on, you guys? What do you have to say about this? You know, I was going to make a video about this, but the editing was just going to take me way too long. And I just decided to do this live and kind of get your guys' opinion as I move forward. Let me see. Yeah, well, if you have to take something, then it wasn't given. Exactly, Adelaide. That's what seize means. That's what take means. Let me see here. Hi, Lady Zaga. 9/11. Yes, exactly. You know, these Christian apologists just make me effing sick. And I thought it was hilarious to discover that this guy was 119 Ministries. I just found that to be astonishing. Blue blood, you studied it so much you're sick of it. You know, I'm about there, bro. I'm about there. I've seen enough. This shit is just over the top, and you know, we all need to speak out about the bullshit in the Bible, and the Bible apologists and the Bible verses are, they're just so nonsensical and fucking downright psychopathic. I mean, literally psychopathic. And I can't believe that these apologists are so disgusting. And let me show you this. Let me show you this. Let me see here. Let me see. Deuteronomy 22:20. Where was it? I think it was the next couple of verses. Let's see. Just watch this. I'm going to move forward here. 22:21. If a man is found lying with another man's wife, both the man who slept with her and the woman must die, because that's adultery. They both die. You must purge the evil from your town. Let's see. Move forward. And the next verse is... If there is a virgin pledged in marriage to a man and another man encounters her in the city and sleeps with her, let's see what it says. Deuteronomy 23, chapter 22, verse 24 says, you must take both of them out to the gate of the city and stone them to death. The young woman, because she did not cry out in the city. So she didn't cry out. No one heard her cry out for help. So you got to kill that bitch because no one heard her cry out. And the man, because he has violated his neighbor's wife. So you must purge the evil from among you. Kill them both. Stone those motherfuckers. Did anybody hear that bitch? No, I didn't hear her cry out. Stone that bitch. But if the man encounters a betrothed woman in the open country and he overpowers her and what's this? And rapes her. Oh, looky. It says right there in Deuteronomy 22, chapter 22, verse 25. But if the man encounters a betrothed woman in the open country and he overpowers her and rapes her, only the man who has done this must die. Oh, so this Christian apologist skipped right over verse 25. And he was talking about verse 21 through 22, I think. What was it? What was he saying there? Let's just... 29? Wait. Did he just say 29?
Yes, it is.
Say again.
In both instances, we're going to go
Hang on.
that.
Deuteronomy chapter 22, verses 28 through 29.
Oh, 28 through 29? You lying piece of shit. Right here, verse 25. Verse 25. Last I checked, verse 25 falls within verse 29. It's inside of 22 and 29. 25 is inside of 22 and 29. Says right here, asshole, but if the man encounters a betrothed woman in the open country and he overpowers her and rapes her, you skipped right over that, you piece of apologetic bullshit lying sack of shit. What a piece of shit. Supertramp. Hey, Johnny. We got Johnny. Yeah, lots of fake Christian ministries. Yeah. I don't know if you guys know this, but there are over 38,000 denominations of Christianity. This, some of these Christian apologists just make me fucking sick. Make me fucking sick. I honestly, how else do I describe this? This bastard just said, listen to this again, 22 to 29 or 25. What did he say? Listen.
Both instances.
22, verses 28 through 29. 28 through 29. That. Deuteronomy chapter 22, verses 28 through 29.
Deuteronomy chapter 22, verses 28. Did he say? I'm sorry. Did he say 28 to 29? 22
instances, and we're going to do that.
Deuteronomy chapter 22, verses 28 through 29.
28 and 29. Oh, you skipped right over 20. Oh, look. You skipped right over verse 25. 25, right here. It says the word rape, asshole. You skipped right over it. Isn't that what you guys call taking shit out of context? Don't you accuse us atheists, all the freaking time of taking shit out of context? I would say that you just completely skipped over some context there, buddy. Good job. Good fucking job. Piece of shit apologist. And you want us to believe that this is consensual when it says clearly that seizes her and takes her. This is not consensual fornication. Piece of shit rape apologist. Disgust me. You're a horrible human being. I can't fucking believe people like you exist. Try to make excuses for what is very, very fucking clear. It says here, right here, looky, buddy, looky, 25, verse 25. But if the man encounters a betrothed woman in the open country and he overpowers and rapes her, what part of that don't you understand? Fuck. Shit gets under my skin. You guys, I'm gonna check the chat. What do you guys think of this fucking crap? Blue, you getting a new guitar? A Godin Session 59 custom with Telebridge. Oh, I can't wait to hear it. Jesus, no pun intended. I'm exactly. Jesus Christ, no pun intended. Man. I honestly don't know what else to say. Like I said, I was going to make a video about this, but honestly, it just would have taken me several hours to edit, and I thought I would just do this live and get this out, get this off my chest. And while I was at it, I would see what you guys had to think about it. Lots of fake Christians. Hey, Greg. Let me see. Let me see. The kid is only is his when he has to pay. What? My cousin is having a divorce. She is so stupid. The kid is only his when he has to pay. I think I know what you mean there. Man. You know, it just really bothers me when Christian apologists like to say that atheists take shit out of context. This guy's clearly skipping over some serious context. And I've got it right here, Deuteronomy verse 20, chapter 22, verse 24, 25. Verse 25 clearly says rape right there. But if the man encounters a betrothed woman in the open country and he overpowers her and rapes her, then only the man has done this must die. Only the man who has done this must die. So as long as the woman is discovered to have screamed for help loud enough, and hopefully there's someone to testify to say, yeah, I heard her scream for help, that's her only salvation. Because if no one can tell, if no one can help, if no one can and testify that the woman screamed for help, then she's an adulterer. Then they both get put to death. So if you're a woman in biblical history, you're fucking property. Your only choice is A, be put to death, or B, marry your fucking rapist. So how do you apologize for that shit? Sandra, if you think you have to take the Bible lady, you're in a world of hurt. I agree there. And King James became a Mason after 30 years old. Really? He did? Wondering if it happened before or after writing his version. Oh, that's interesting. That's an assertion and that I'm not familiar with. Sandra, do you have evidence for that? King James became a Mason after 30 years old. That's interesting. I didn't know that. Haven't heard that, Sandra, but you have made a positive assertion, and I will now challenge you with the burden of proof to provide me with at least some sort of evidence, and I can probably look that up. Not a big deal, but you're the one making the assertion. I didn't know that. King James became a Mason. Let me see. What else do we have going on here? The New Testament was written by Piso. I think that's a typo. You mean Flavian? Piso Flavian dynasty created the Jesus story in the first century Pope. Neither existed. I believe you, Blue. I don't think any of them existed. King James, the lover of Shakespeare. Yeah, I think that the authors that are attributed to Shakespeare, who, by the way, I'm pretty sure did not exist either, were supposedly the ones who wrote the King James version. Okay, you need to look it up. Look it up, Sandra. Give us a link. Give us a source. Provide us with some evidence for that claim. I would appreciate it. Brandon Jerome, better too, is more difficult to prove. Let's see, what else we got going on in the chat here? My family was forced to go to Catholic school. They said the nuns would hit them with rulers. Yes, well, there's tons and tons and tons of testimony of the nuns using rulers to, corporal punishment, where they would literally beat children to submission physically. Always a problem when you have to beat children into submission. So honestly, you guys, I know that most of the people watching right now are probably in the atheist camp. What do you think of this guy who is trying to equate this passage that says that a virgin should marry her rapist, and that the rapist, if discovered, by the way, only if they're discovered, if they're found, if they're caught, does the rapist have to pay the father $50, 50 shekels? He's got to pay the father because he's defiled, he's violated the property of the virgin. So, I mean, she's a victim. So let's victimize the victim. So now that she's been raped, she now has to be the wife of the guy who fucking raped her. What do you guys think? Do you think that this Christian apologist is correct? Do you think that it was fornication as he describes? Or the words were used, seized. If a man finds a woman and seizes her, I'm screen sharing. I'll show it to you again if you don't believe me. The verse is seizes her. I mean, this is not fornication. You don't seize. When the Romans say, seize him, this is not by consent. Seize him. This is not voluntary. This is by force. That's the definition of the word seize, is take by force. It's kind of weird that the passage says the woman is raped in the open country, like it would make a difference if it was the country or the city. Well, broadsword, it does make a difference, because if it was in the city, then someone would hear her cry for help. But if it's in the country, out in the wilderness, like tending the flock, tending the sheep in the open hills, then no one would hear her cry out. And so that's why they make the distinction, because it's important that she has a witness. It's important that the victim, the rape victim, has a witness, and someone can say, yes, she cried, help me, I'm being raped. And that's actually a distinction in the Bible, because if she's not crying out for help, then she's a fornicator, then she gave it up, and she engaged voluntarily, unless she cried out for help, in which case, because we don't trust women, women are not citizens, women are property, women are not allowed to make witness and bear witness. They have to have 2 or 3 women to equal that of a man's witness. Okay, let's remember now, women, they're not trusted to bear witness. It takes 2 or 3 women to equal the witness of one man. So it's going to require somebody to stand up for her and say, yes, she cried out for help. And that's part of the problem here, is that women are property, then their testimony is not valid unless there's several women in a row that can stand up and say, yes, this is how it is, against a man, because it takes 2 or 3 women to testify against a man, and with their validity of their testimony, it's just not trusted. One woman's testimony is not trusted. That's how it is in the Bible. You're property, and if you're a woman in the Bible, you're property. That's how it is. Let me see. This is just a piece of this dirty word of Freemasons. Big P. Hey, Big P. How you doing? Yes, it is broadsword. It's all about the witness. Women are not. Look, when Jesus's tomb was opened, it was 3 women who discovered it. Actually, it depends on which gospel you read, because in one gospel, and forgive me if I screw this up, Mark or Matthew, they have different versions. It's 1 woman, it's 2 women, it's a woman and a guy, it's 2 women, it's 3 women, and they just can't get their fucking story straight. See if this link is worth any. What do you? Oh, let me see this, Sandra. You got something for me? Let me look at this. Let me open in a new tab. Let's have a look. Let's see. What do you got, Sandra? Loading. Keep that tab unloading. Come on, tab. Royal Freemasons, King of Scotland, 1567-1625, and the first Stuart King of England, 1603 to 25. English historians have tended to portray him as a coward and a fussy and foolish pedant, the wisest fool in Christendom. In fact, he was reasonably successful in his main goals: increasing national prosperity, maintaining peace with Europe, settling the church. Today, he is remembered for commissioning the so-called King James Bible, or Authorized Version, on the west wall of the Lodge Hall, used by Lodge Scone and Perth, number 3 in Perth, Scotland, can be found a mural depicting James the Sixth kneeling at their altar and at his initiation. The oldest text existing record of the lodge, called the Mutual Agreement, 24 December 1665 record, that James was, quote, entered Freemason and Fellowcraft of the Lodge of Scone on April 15, 1601. Thank you for that, Sandra. Thank you. Interesting. Let's have a further look at that. In 1558, Queen Elizabeth, the sister and successor of Catholic Queen Bloody Mary, was determined to establish the Church of England, which combines Catholic and Protestant traditions as the only church. While Queen Mary had persecuted Protestants, government officials now punished those who refused to conform to the new Church of England. They wanted to separate it. Interesting. Okay, on April 15, 160, King James knelt at the Masonic altar in Scotland, the womb of Freemasonry. The womb of Freemasonry? Interesting. Let's look at that. The womb of Freemasonry. Let's see. What's it say here? Scotland is where the Templar Knights found refuge following their excommunication. Scotland is where the Templar graves are found. Is where the Sinclairs built their shrine on the floor plan of Herod's temple. Interesting. Is where the first images of the New World florists as corn, such as corn and aloe, are found. Is where the practices of speculative masonry are first recorded. Interesting. Thank you for that link, Sandra. I will look deeper into this. Interesting. Thank you for the link, Sandra. Oh boy, you guys are busy in the chat. You guys are moving fast. Let me try to catch up with this. Oh, let's see here. Let's see. Yes, Johnny, the Bible is actually, it's 2,000 years old is the earliest, but actually the Bible goes back to almost 4,000 years. The Bible itself is a collection of 66 books written by 40 some authors over a period of about 1,700 years, going back almost 4,000 years. So that's for you, Johnny. So the Bible, actually, the original authors of the book, the first books of the Bible were written almost 4,000 years ago. And the totality of all the books of the Bible were written over a period of almost 2,000 years. What else do we have here? Jesus came back after death. What was that? And ate dinner. Peter Kling. I think I've heard his name. I'm not real familiar with Peter Kling. I'll look into him, Lady Zaga. Thank you for that. Let me see. Actually, it seems it was 33 years old. Jesus was 33 years old, and oddly enough, Superman is 33 years old. And funny that Jesus and Superman have remarkable parallels. And, I was going to do a video on this. And again, it's just a matter of time consuming and editing on creating these videos. It's just a pain in the ass. The parallels between Superman and Jesus are freaking astounding. There's like 25 or 30 or more parallels. And I'll just give you a couple off the top of my head. 2 movies ago, Superman and Batman, the Batman versus Superman movie. Let's remember Batman is the Dark Knight, so he's set, and Jesus is the sun, because Superman, he's the sun. Superman gets his power from the sun. So 2 movies ago, Superman was actually killed. That's when they introduced Wonder Woman, and they do battle with this gigantic freaking monster, which actually literally kills Superman, and they put him to death. They bury him, and then the following movie, they bring him back to life, so he's resurrected. But in the previous movie, when Superman is killed, there's a giant cross in the wreckage. It's very, very prominent. I've got video of it. I don't have it uploaded on my computer. I could probably find it. But it's pretty remarkable that Jesus is powered by the sun. He gets his energy from the sun. Jesus is a solar deity. And when Superman dies in the last movie, he dies in the wreckage of the city, all that fighting. There's a big fucking I-beam. It's literally a cross or crucifix. It's very prominent. So Jesus or Superman dies on the cross. And in the very next movie, which is Justice League, they bring Superman back to life. So Superman is literally resurrected. And just on and on and on. And yes, Superman's 33 and Jesus was 33. So the parallels are astounding. Let's see what else is going on in the chat here. Everybody's 33 years old. Yeah, well, let's not forget that there are 33 vertebrae in the human spine. So the connections go on and on and on. Make sure you watch the documentary that you posted. See the churches acting as governmental agents and getting paid to kill Indians. Yes, Lady Zaga, I agree. I had a conversation with a friend of mine, Joe, and that the church, and he showed me, it's not something that I recognized right off the bat, but he showed me, and I realized that the church and the state literally act exactly the same. Their behavior, their function is identical, and there's almost no difference between the two. So I agree with you there. Carl Jung pretty much explains why we have religions. Exactly, Fractal. Anybody who has read Carl Jung or Joseph Campbell, you know exactly what Fractal is talking about. Spot on there on that one. What else do we have? You think Johnny? You think all religion springs from the use of psychedelics? Johnny, listen. I've asked you before, and I want to schedule you for an appearance. I want to talk to you about your DMT experience. I want to talk to you about this particular subject. All religion, you say, springs from the use of psychedelics. I'm going to disagree with you on some level. I would agree on another level. I kind of agree and kind of disagree. I'm pretty sure that religion is based on astrotheology, which refers to the planets and the motions of the stars, the sun and the moon. This is astrotheology. It's very, very well known that the gods of the ancient world were in fact planets. Zeus was Jupiter, and Mars is Aries, and Venus is, of course, Venus, or what's the wife and consort of Odin, Freya. Venus is Freya with the long flowing hair, the bearded dragon. It's all the same thing. It's really, really, really all. No, you're not a terrible guest, Johnny. You're fantastic, and we love you. And please, Johnny, I really want to get you, Johnny. Since you're in my chat, tell me now, can you make an appearance this Friday? Just yes or no. This Friday. I've already asked you last week, and you were busy. I understand. But let's just do this right now, Johnny. Can we have you as a guest this coming Friday? I want to talk to you about your DMT. We can talk about this subject, and it'll just be an open conversation. There's no pressure. You just answer and talk about whatever you want. No big deal. Maybe with a little more flattery. A little more flattery. Come on, you guys. Everybody in the chat. Let's all flatter Johnny. Come on, Johnny. This Friday, let's make a commitment. I need a guest. I got nobody for Friday, and I've been wanting to talk to you about your DMT. Like for months and months, I've been wanting to talk to you about your DMT thing. So come on, Johnny. Let's do this. Let's do this Friday. Come on, Johnny. Do it. But seriously, like the gods of ancient Greece and Rome and Egypt, and Babylonia, they clearly, the gods were the planets. Very, very clearly. Well, marginally better than nobody. Well, then that's better than nobody, isn't it? It's still better. Come on, Johnny, get off the fence, Johnny. Come on, Johnny. I'm serious. The town of Nazareth never existed either. Exactly, Blue Blood. Exactly. The town of Nazareth did not exist. Oh, look at that. You guys all saw it. There it is. Johnny is committed. We got a guest. Johnny is our guest for Friday. Thank you, brother. I can't wait. Really, Johnny, I want to talk to you about your DMT experience. That's probably going to be our main focus. But of course, we are going to cover these exact topics about ancient gods, and sort of, we're going to touch on some biblical stuff as they relate to the subject. No pressure, Johnny. It'll just be a conversation. You tell us what you know and tell us what you think. That's all it is, man. It's just a conversation. Thank you, Johnny. I appreciate it. And I'm going to hold you to it. And it's too late, pal. You did it in public and everybody saw you. You just committed. We got a guest for Friday. Yay. Cool. Thanks, Johnny. I appreciate you. Let me see. Sandra, just some questions. Why did God have only one son? Why did God send his only son to Jerusalem? Anything wrong with China or other part of the earth? Why did God talk only to Hebrews and anyone else? See, that is an exactly perfect exactly. Awesome question, Sandra. That's one of the big, honestly, because look, China, the culture of China and India, for that matter, they had a very old culture. They had very old documents and writings. They wrote shit down if it was important. There's no mention. God didn't talk to any of these other cultures. He talked to relatively ignorant, illiterate goat herders and sheep herders in the middle of the Middle East desert. Exactly, Sandra. Why did God only have one son? Well, I suppose that's up for debate. There were other gods. I mean, doesn't the Bible say that thou shalt have no other gods before me? Isn't that an admission that there are other gods and that you shouldn't worship other gods? That's kind of a curious statement by itself. Johnny, thank you. I really appreciate. Keep an eye on your Skype. I'll hit you up on Skype. You will get the link in Skype when we go live on Friday. Thanks, Johnny. I'm seriously looking forward to just picking your brain on your DMT experience. That'll be the main focus of the topic of the show, and we'll get into whatever else relates as it relates. So thanks, Johnny. I appreciate that. It's it's pretty hard to it's just hard to communicate on YouTube. Sometimes the comments, notifications suck. Sometimes you don't get notifications, and obviously they've taken away our message system, and so we can't communicate that way either. And so screw YouTube for taking away our ability to communicate. So thank you, Johnny. I appreciate it. Seriously. Yes, Sandra, if God wanted to save us, he could have had many sons all over the world. Sandra, the God of the Bible is so omnipotent and omniscient and omnipresent. He created the universe with one breath of his word, but he just wasn't powerful enough to overcome the iron chariots. And I forget which Bible verse that is, but God's chosen army was defeated by iron chariots. So God couldn't overcome our iron chariots. What really bugs me about the power of God is God trains Moses to go free the Israelite slaves, and he tells Moses to go tell Pharaoh to let my people go. And in the meantime, he hardens Pharaoh's heart. So effectively, God fucking sabotages his own damn plan. Does that make a lot of sense to anybody? I mean, if God can harden Pharaoh's heart, God can certainly soften Pharaoh's heart. God doesn't even need Moses. God could soften Pharaoh's heart so much that the Pharaoh would have just released the slaves. Does any of this fucking shit make sense to anybody? I mean, come on. People. All right, you guys, the chat is like really too interesting. I just wanted to get this I just really wanted to throw this Bible apologist under the bus. I didn't mean for this to be a long, drawn-out live broadcast, but I'm trying to keep up. What are you guys saying over here? And if God wanted to save us, wouldn't he have many sons to save the world? As not supposed to be taken literally. Fractal. I know they're not supposed to be taken literally, but the problem is that we have Christians today that are Bible literalists that will tell you to your face that the Bible is the inerrant word of God and everything in the Bible is absolutely factually true. That is the problem. And yes, they're metaphors. And the metaphor is that look, I subscribe to the Thunderbolts, the electric universe thesis. I'm a big subscriber to this idea. And I believe that the ancient gods, which are the ancient planets, are the ancient myths and the ancient heroes and gods of old. And that's where the metaphor comes from. The problem is that we have people today who take the Bible literally. And with 38,000 denominations of Christianity, somebody has to speak up and counter this nonsense, because that's exactly what it is. It's nonsense. If there's any metaphor to be taken from the Bible, it is the fact that Earth used to have a planetary alignment that had nothing to do with the planetary alignment that we have today. I'm pretty sure that Saturn was the center of our solar system. Saturn, El, which is El, the Hebrew god El, which is Saturn or Kronos, was the center of our solar system. And then this little miniature solar system was captured by our current sun, and everything got all messed up. All the planets had to realign themselves, and that's where we have this ancient catastrophe. Oh, I just remembered. I got to show you guys something. Check this out. Watch this. I know I'm screen sharing, so watch this. Let me see. Where did I do with it? Are you guys familiar with Göbekli Tepe? Where did I put this? I got a file here. Where did I put this? Göbekli Tepe. They say Göbekli Tepe was intentionally buried. I've got some pictures around here somewhere. Where did my screenshots? Maybe I don't think it's here. I don't think it's in here. Göbekli Tepe, they say Göbekli Tepe is 12,000 years old. Not in this folder. Maybe in this folder. So Göbekli Tepe is supposed to be 12,000 years old. The Thunderbolts project places this planetary alignment around the same time, which is the end of the Younger Dryas period, which is also happens to be the end of the last known ice age. Where's my picture of Göbekli Tepe? I wonder if it's in here. Thunderbolts. Looking for this picture. I've got a couple of screenshots of Göbekli Tepe. Here's one, I think. No, maybe? Yes. Okay, here's a picture of Göbekli Tepe. Now, they say that Göbekli Tepe was intentionally buried. I say it was not intentionally buried. I say that all this rock and rubble that fills this site at Göbekli Tepe, which is, they say, 11.5 to 12,000 years old. The site at Göbekli Tepe is 12,000 years old. This is exactly the same time period which almost all archaeologists will agree that there was some sort of worldwide cataclysm that really, really messed up civilization in a bad way. As far as the Thunderbolts project goes, they're talking about a planetary alignment where Mars came really, really close to Earth, and Earth literally was sucking atmosphere and water and dust and dirt and even rocks. And then there was a huge electrical discharge, which creates that giant scar known as Valles Marineris on Mars. So they excavated this electrical discharge on Mars, excavated huge amounts of material from Mars. We still, to this very day, are receiving meteorites from Mars. And this makes sense to me that this entire site, which they say is only 1/50th excavated through ground penetrating radar, they say that they recognize that there is 50 times more shit to be excavated. So they've only excavated 1/50th of the site. And I just can't for the life of me believe that they would go to the trouble to bury this entire city with rocks and rubble by hand. Bury it. Cover it up. There's no way that I can believe that they went to that amount of effort to completely cover this entire city. I'm going to tell you that this is my theory that Göbekli Tepe was buried by rocks and rubble through the ancient cataclysm. Here's some pictures. This is what it looked like. This is Mars getting close to Earth, and debris and rocks and atmosphere are being sucked to Earth as Mars and the alignment between Saturn and Venus looked like this. And this is atmosphere and shit being sucked down to Earth. That would absolutely cause a catastrophe. And that would absolutely account for the burying of Göbekli Tepe. And so these images, which are artist renderings, are derived from ancient cave art and ancient cave petroglyphs from around the world. Every culture around the world has identical stories about what happened in the sky, the ancient gods, the war of the gods in the sky. This is the kind of shit that they talked about in ancient times, is this war of the gods, the clash of the titans. Now there's Zeus holding the thunderbolt. There's the ancient Sanskrit thunderbolt. There's Tiamat. Look in his hands. He's carrying gosh, what's Tiamat is the I'm sorry, but it escapes my memory. Tiamat and damn it, I can't remember. But look, he's got the thunderbolts in his hands. This crater, check this out, you guys. This is not an impact crater. This is an electrical discharge. And by the way, look in the sides, to the left and to the right. You see a little disturbance in the soil. Look at that straight cut between these two craters. This is impossible to create through impact. This is an electrical discharge. Electrical discharge will, in fact, create this type of crater, and it can be and it's repeated in a laboratory again and again. But look at the sides. Make sure focus. Look at the side. Look at the disturbance in the soil, left and right. Look at the sides. This is an electrical crater. This is not an impact crater. There again in Syria, ancient warrior gods, the thunderbolt. There we got Hindu Shiva carrying the ancient thunderbolt. Here's some scarring on Mars. This is not water erosion. This is not meteor impact. These are electrical discharges. So I really, really, really subscribe to the notion of the thunderbolts and the electric universe. Here are ancient symbols compared to plasma discharge photographs taken in a laboratory. And on top, we have plasma discharges on top. And on the bottom, we have ancient symbols of the ancient thunderbolt. And the resemblance is too striking to ignore. So, okay, enough of that. I'm going to go back to the chat. And I'm probably going to wrap this up in a minute. But I want to thank you guys for joining me, engaging me. And I appreciate all you guys and your input. And whatever you look, while I was screen sharing all the conversation, I missed all of it. So I'm going to have to go back and review what you guys had to say. I just can't watch the chat while I'm screen sharing. I just don't have the screen on me. Oh, you guys are busy in the chat. Busy, busy. The Empire striking. There is no alternative story if it's on YouTube. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Sandra. Adelaide. No, there's no reason to think something would happen today. And mostly because everybody's watching. They usually don't do shit when people are watching. And actually, I think I've shown that on other videos and other shows. When everybody thought that there's something was going to happen, nothing happened, because the psychological effect when everybody is worried that something is going to happen, that alone is enough. They don't actually have to do anything. The fact that everybody's worried that something is going to happen, that's enough. Imperial Highway got reports of a shooting at Kaiser. You mean at Kaiser? You mean Kaiser Permanente? You mean like the hospital? They'll find the gay gene. Oh, Greg. Let's see. I'm trying to just scan backwards through the chat, see what you guys had to say. I just can't. It's just going to take too long for me to go back and see what everybody had to say. I'm going to read your comments after this, but honestly, I really just wanted to bash the crap out of this religious apologist who thinks that the Bible doesn't talk about a rape victim having to marry her rapist, which clearly it Clearly, that's what it says. There's no question about, as far as I'm concerned. February 19th is the next in line 11. February 19th would be 2/2/19 or 2019-02. 2/19. 19 is a pretty popular number. There's a lot of 19s in the news. Exactly, Adelaide. They hit you when you're comfortable. When you're not looking, they hit you. Yeah, well, chewing bubblegum and walking is not the same as reading the chat and talking or having a conversation and reading someone else's conversation. What? When did Sandra? When did Gutenberg make up the press? Everyone is a 118. Everyone next year will be a 119. Huh, interesting, Johnny. I'm going to look at that one. Add the two digits to of your birth to your age, and it sums to 118. This year, everyone is a 118. Next year, everyone will be a 119. Add the two digits of your birth to your age, and it sums to 118. Well, without telling you my age, I have to do it in my head. Let me see. See if I can work that out while I'm trying to keep an eye on the chat here. Add the two digits of your birth to your age. The two digits of my birth? You mean after adding it all together? The 119 next year is why they think it'll be the second. So you think next year is the year of the next big event? I'm hearing a lot of that, Johnny, from multiple sources. The last two digits, of the year of your birth. Oh, okay. Thank you. Oh, so okay. So let me see here. For me, that would be 71 is an 8, and then add that to my age. Should make me a 119. 70. Let me see. I'm gonna need a calculator for this. Let me see. Let me just see. That would be that plus 48. Damn you, Johnny. Holy shit, Johnny. You're right. Holy shit. 119. Without telling you my birthday. I'm not going to do that because, a little bit of personal info. Wow. Holy fucking shit, Johnny. It did come out to 119. Holy shit. Interesting. Hey, everybody else, do that. All right, before I close this out, because that was super interesting. All right, everybody in the chat now. All right, everybody take the last two digits of the year of your birth and add it to your age. Don't add the digits together. Just add the last two digits plus your age and see if it comes out. Because it did for me. Holy fucking shit, Johnny. Holy crap. Seriously, I'm not even lying. It did. Oh, and by the way, Johnny, I don't know if you were here at the start of this broadcast, but the guy that I was debunking, this Christian apologist, he was from 119 Ministries. Just so for all the newcomers, it was 119 Ministries. Okay, just simmer on that one for a second. You failed, Sandra. Who failed? It didn't work for you, Sandra? You got a 118? Damn, Johnny, it worked. I mean, I'm not kidding you. I added the last 2 digits of my birth year to my age, and it did come out to 119. I'm not even shitting you. Sovereign Humanoids in the room. What's up, brother? Hey, Lady Zaga got a 118. What the hell, Johnny? Indeed. What the hell? Wow. Tag got a 118. Should be 118. Next year, 119. Well, to be honest with you guys, this is my birth month. I will actually be. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a second. Wait a second. Oh, I know what I did wrong. I actually considered myself 1 year older. I consider myself 48 when, in fact, I'll be 48 in another 9 days or so because my birthday is coming up very, very soon this month. So, in reality, if I'm not actually 48, I'm actually 47. So, if I do the math that way, it is a 118. Wow, interesting. How'd you figure that out, Johnny? Holy crap. Damn you, Johnny. Damn you to hell. Thanks, Sandra. Appreciate that. Might want to double check my age. Yeah. Yeah, I did have to double check my age. I was already in the mindset of being, that next year because I'm so close. I was already in that mindset. So next year is a reverse 9/11 for everyone. Oh, dude, you just creeped me out. I got a little chill there, Johnny. That was creepy. Oh, fuck. I bet Finis Temporis is going to be interested in this. I wonder if he even knows about this. Johnny, are you subscribed to Finis Temporis? If you're not, you really ought to check this guy out. It's 88 by Roman numeral, so it's LXXXVIII Finis Temporis. Check out that YouTube. Okay, you are cool. Yeah, so if you guys are not familiar, man, check out Finis Temporis. That dude is fucking amazing. Yes, I am a Virgo. Yes, Sandra, I am still a Virgo. I fall in the Virgo the Virgin category. Lady Zaga, thank you for doxing me. September 20th is my birthday. You got me. I let the cat out of the bag. That's what happens when you start running your mouth on YouTube. Link? You want a link? I don't. You know what? Let me see. I'm running on Chrome. I don't usually run on Chrome. Maybe it'll let me drop a link. Let me see if I can get you a link to Finis Temporis. Let me try this. I think that's him right there. There he is. Let me see if I can get the link and drop it in the chat. Because, when I use Explorer, it does not let me drop links in the chat under any circumstances. I've never been able to drop a link, even though it's my chat. But now I'm running Chrome, so maybe, just maybe. Nope. Oh. There you go. Finis Temporis right there, buddy. It worked. Yeah, this guy is astounding. He finds 9/11 in so many movies, it would just blow your mind. And the 88 connection, which is the analemma, the double analemma of the sun and the moon, just astounding, astounding stuff this guy puts out. Jewish holiday on September 18th is 888 weeks. Damn, Johnny. See, Johnny, that's why I want you on the show, man. You're so full of good shit. You are not a mediocre guest. This is the kind of, you know shit I don't know, man. That's why I have guests, because you guys know shit I don't know. So you heard it, everybody. Johnny's going to be on next Friday. Thank you, Johnny. I'm looking forward to it. You're a good dude, and I can't wait to talk to you again. So I did manage to drop the link. So anybody who wants to check out Finis Temporis, I urge you to do so. That guy is well worth your time. Time to schedule messages. Blue blood. I'm just scanning through the old, trying to see what Blue had to say a minute ago, because you guys were. Well, you guys, I think I'm going to wrap this up. So it looks like we got Johnny Supertramp scheduled for this coming Friday. Oh, by the way, it's not confirmed yet, but it looks like we might have Michael Cremo for September 28th as an interview. And we're just waiting on a final confirmation. We were able to get through to his publisher, who gave us two dates, 21st and 28th. We chose the 28th, and we're just waiting on confirmation. And it looks like we'll be interviewing Michael Cremo for the second time on September 28th. So I'm super excited about that. And I hope you guys will all join us for that interview. That's going to be good stuff. And by the way, after this broadcast uploads live, if you have any questions for our friend Michael Cremo, the Forbidden Archaeologist, just, leave me a comment. Just leave me a comment under this video for Michael Cremo if you have any questions for him, and I'll be sure to put it to him. Sandra's got kitchen work, and you guys, I'm already overtime. I really just wanted to do this Christian Apologist, but I really appreciate everybody in the chat and engaging with everybody. Blue Blood and Adelaide and Johnny and Sovereign, and I'm really excited that Johnny showed up, and Johnny has agreed to make an appearance this Friday. So awesome that we now have somebody. We have a guest. We're going to make a promo, and I look forward to it, Johnny, and thank you so much. And thank you guys for your time, and thank you for your input. I'm going to go back and read all the comments that I missed, and thank you. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you all on the flip side. And I don't have an intro or an outro or anything, so I'm just going to go over to the other page and literally just hang up on you as soon as I can freaking find where I put that page. I got too many tabs open right now. Let me see. Where did it go? It's not this one. It's not this one. And it's not this one. What have I done? Oh, it's down here maybe? No, it's not this one. What did I do with my Hangout page? I don't even know how to hang up. Holy crap. I'm serious. Where is my Hangout page? Oh, there it is. Okay, you guys, I love you all, and thank you. And we will see you Friday with our guest, Johnny Supertramp. We're going to talk about DMT and the ancient gods of old and our connection to the universe. And thank you, and much love to everybody. Take care of each other and pick up your fucking trash. Be good, guys. See you later.